How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. The homie Shadow is actually going to be selling his SB6, so he's giving me the opportunity to go ahead and try a mullet setup on my sb150. Luckily, he has an i9 rear wheel, tire insert, same tires, which are the Minion DHF, same casing. The only difference is the size. And also I have rim pack on the rear in the 29er, and the 27.5 has cush core on it. Other than that, everything's pretty much identical. So I'm gonna have to swap over the rotors and I believe the cassette, and that's pretty much it. I've always been kind of curious how a 27.5 will feel in the rear. I know some people do 27.5 and do like a much wider tire. So for now, I'm gonna just try the same width tire, work with what I have. Okay, before I slap on the 27.5 in the rear, I wanna go ahead and measure how high my bike is where I have the bash guard. I wanna see how much clearance I lose. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be losing some clearance. Okay, so it looks like I'm about 10.5. I can't really go lower on the camera right now, but it's around 10.5 over by my bash guard. So that's what I have for clearance as far as my bash guard goes. Okay, so first thing I want to do is want to go ahead and weigh the 29er wheel. See how much of a weight difference it is between the 27.5, fully loaded with the cassette and the rotor. So put that sucker on there. It looks like it's 6.4 in the 29er, 6.4. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna weigh the 27.5 fully loaded with the brake rotor and the cassette. See how much it weighs. It looks like it weighs 6.2. So, I mean, not that big of a difference. Okay, so here we go. We set up my light. See how high or how low we are now. The light's flickering a little bit. It's dying. I should have charged it. Looks like I'm about 9 inches and 3/4. So I lost a good amount of bottom bracket clearance, or in this case, bash guard clearance. So now I'm at 9 3/4. Now all we have to do is go out there and test it and see how it feels. All right, guys, here we go. We're back at it again at the testing grounds. The bike definitely feels a lot lower. That's pretty much the only thing I'm kind of concerned about. The pedal strike, it does feel more rigged out, obviously. Since if you lower the bag, it kind of, what's it called, rakes out the front. It's so rigged out that my brakes feel a little bit awkward. They're like more up, but luckily I usually leave them kind of loose, so in case I ever fall, they don't break off. Putting it down a little bit right now. I'm gonna try to see if there's any changes as far as climbing goes. The back feels a little awkward. All right, so as we're climbing up, I'm noticing some differences already. One is that when it gets kind of steep, I can definitely feel my front end being a lot lighter, wanting to go up. That's gotta make sense because most of my weight is in the back now, or more of my weight's in the back actually. That's what I was trying to say. Another thing that's kind of getting in my head right now, as I'm doing this climb, I'm getting a lot of pedal strikes where I usually don't get it. And I'm not liking the feeling of that so far. That's definitely going to be on my head now on the way down. All right, here we go. 27.5 rear mullet. Some guy ate shit up here earlier, so I'm gonna be careful right here. All right, here we go. Following Shadow. Reason being is that as I was climbing up, I was getting a lot of pedal strikes, like I said before. And I don't want to get a pedal strike and eat shit and then bring down Shadow with me. So I definitely feel like it's plowing through things a lot more easy. Gotta watch out for those pedal strikes though, because it's really low. Let's see how the mullet setup feels doing the climb for a jump. A little awkward. Bucked a little bit. My bike definitely feels a lot awkward. Really awkward actually. Here comes the chunky section. Nice. Plows to it pretty good. Could definitely feel that weight difference. Whoa. It's really loose out here today. Shadow's dropping me. It's okay. Okay, first steep chunk. Okay, handled it really good. me gather my thoughts. Definitely do not feel the 29er like what's it called, momentum. Usually with my 29er, full 29er, I pedal. Once I get up to speed, it pretty much stays up to speed pretty good. With this setup, I do feel the loss of that momentum going away or losing kind of fast. Another thing that I'm having issues with right now is the mental aspect of it. Like I said before, on the climb up, I was getting tons of pedal strikes. But me and Shadow were talking about this on the top. A 27.5 bike going to a 29er front end will be more ideal than a 29er going 27.5 in the rear. Reason being is because with the 29er going to 27.5, you are losing a lot of clearance from your pedals. And if you're already 27.5, if anything, you might gain clearance because the front end is going up. So yeah, for right now, after this first run, I could definitely feel like I'm holding back. I'm not really liking it right now. So let's go back up. Hopefully, I get a little more used to it. Oh, and before I go, actually, I want to add that the plowing feels really good. Since my weight is more in the back now, I just roll over stuff a lot easier. I definitely feel that. But I don't know if that's enough to justify me going 27.5 on my sb150, which is a 29er. All right, it's all coming back as I'm climbing up. I just thought about the fact that the bike does accelerate a lot faster or a lot better. Another thing I was telling Shadow, I don't know if it's just me, placebo effect or what, but I feel like climbing up is a lot easier. Kind of like I'm like 3 gears before the Eagle, and I gotta see that it feels like I was already on the Eagle around there. So I do have an oval chainring. Maybe I'm not 100% used to that yet, but I do feel like it's a lot easier now. I'm not sure if it's because of the smaller wheel in the back, which doesn't make sense, or maybe it should. I don't know, maybe it's just on my head. But let's get up there, try this again, see how it goes. So see, I just got a pedal strike there. Here we go, 27.5 rear. All right, brother, have a good one. Let me see if I can try to trust this setup a little bit more. Yeah, acceleration is definitely pretty good on this thing. Woo! Gotta slow down a little bit. I would have hit Shadow. Okay, pedal strike central right here. Woo! Not pedaling there, that's for sure. Not with this setup. Yeah, acceleration is crazy on this. Never, rarely take that line. Here we go. Woo! Look at Shadow go with the S-Works. Shadow's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. Woo! Getting steezy. Whoa! Yeah, that does really good on. Woo!
What's up, man?
How's it going, Barry?
How you doing?
Good. This thing definitely eats up the chunk. I don't know about the setup, bro. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about the pros and the cons. One of the pros that I really liked was the fact that the bike pretty much rolled over everything. Since most of my weight was behind the front wheel, I was able just to lean back and the bike just did all the work of going over some chunky sections. I also felt the increase of acceleration. Like, it was really easy to get up to speed. I've definitely felt that. It was really fun coming out of the corners and then just picking up speed right away. Another thing I noticed that it was a lot easier for me to climb up. Another pro would be that I definitely got some butt clearance. I don't know if anybody's tried the 29er. If you're a little bit on the shorter end, you definitely get some of those butt rubs on the little steeper sections. So this would definitely benefit someone that's shorter that wants that 29er feel, like monster truck feeling. Okay, so let's move on to the cons. The one con that's definitely killing it for me is the fact that since it was so low, I was getting too many pedal strikes. On the way up, I probably got like 5 or 6. I didn't catch it on camera. There was actually one pedal strike that was really bad. I was just, taking my time going up. I never hit there or get pedal strikes. And then I got a really bad pedal strike and the bike stopped in place and my body went forward. I hit myself like against the handlebar. It kind of sucked a little bit. After after that, like I just switched my riding style. Like I just did not even want to try to pedal through chunky sections because I do not want to get a pedal strike. That's one of the worst feelings out there. And even though the acceleration increased, I did notice a little bit of loss of momentum. It wasn't like my old setup of 29er wheels. That's kind of the trade-off of having good acceleration. And another thing that kind of bothered me was the fact that since my rear was so low, the front end was raked out, and I feel like it caused a lot of unnecessary stress on my fork. So my CSU, I'm not sure if that's what it's called, it started cracking, and now it's popping now ever since I tested this little setup. So that's one thing to think about. Fox has always had an issue with that as well. So another kind of like, it's not really a big deal, but when I was climbing up, it was a super steep climb. I definitely felt the front end trying to go up, but I mean that was pretty much like not really like a big deal, but that's one thing I wanted to also point out as well. So who is this setup for? I think this setup is perfect for someone that has a 27.5 setup right now and wants to go 29er front end, because if anything, you're gonna raise up your bottom bracket, you're gonna get more clearance, and you also get that monster truck feel. And upon doing some research, I found out that some people did get the 29er frame working on a Mullet setup, and those are the people that have the flip chip or that switch that kind of raises their bottom bracket. But as far as this setup working on my sb150 medium size 170mm cranks, it was definitely not the setup for me. But at the end of the day, this is only my opinion, my experience. You might have a better luck on your bike. Maybe your geometry is a lot different than mine. It might actually work for you. So the only way to find out is trying it yourselves. But other than that, hopefully this video was somewhat informative and fun to watch. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. See you guys in the next video.